at there as he cruises through the pen. Chad Connor, left-hand side. The fourth gen coming out of Illinois, taking on Matt Richeza. Matt on the right. Little Mustang, 6 light by Andy Schmall. Andy Schmall. 20 thou package for Andy. But that 4 thou package for Raylo. Did everything he needed. Final pair of our no-box cars, Cole Castile and Gerald Engel. Excuse me, final pair of no boxes in the water. Gerald Engel rolls in, the Chevy Deuce wagon. Chevy Deuce turns it red on this end. That's not good for Gerald. 19 thou too quick. Cole Castile gets the win. Runs 39.5 on his 40 dial. 20 thou package for Andy. But that 4 thou package for Raylo. Did everything he needed. Final pair of our no-box cars, Cole Castile and Gerald Engel. Excuse me, final pair of no boxes in the water. Gerald Engel rolls in, the Chevy Deuce wagon. Brian was talking a while ago, a little red light-itis floating around the pits today. Billy Myers Mopar entry over on the left-hand side. 637 the dial. Firebird on the right on a 583. Over there, the Gun Lake Casino. Side of the racetrack. Chevy Deuce turns it red on this end. That's not good for Gerald. 19 thou too quick. Cole Castile gets the win. Runs 39.5 on his 40 dial. Brian was talking a while ago, a little red light-itis floating around the pits today. Billy Myers Mopar entry over on the left-hand side. 637 the dial. Firebird on the right on a 583. Over there, the Gun Lake Casino. Side of the racetrack. Red light start, Billy. 6 thou too quick, and the red light-itis finds another victim. 582 on a 583. Firebird marches on to round number 4. 17 on to red light start, Billy. 6 thou too quick, and the red light-itis finds another victim. 582 on a 583. Firebird marches on to round number 4. 17 on the tree, good light, but 006 by Billy Meyer, then runs 40 on his 37 dial. Runs 40 on his 37 dial. So we roll out. So we roll out of round number 3 of no box. Into round number 3 of our Jegs 20K. Door card doubles. Dave Marchini out of Grand Michigan over on the right-hand side, and the very patriotic Chevy S10 flying the red, white, and blue, the stars and bars. On the bed cover over here on the left-hand side, 602, the dial for number 3 of no box. In round number 3 of our Jegs 20K. Door card doubles. Dave Marchini out of Grand Michigan over on the right-hand side, and the very patriotic Chevy S10 flying the red, white, and blue, the stars and bars. On the bed cover over here on the left-hand side, 602, the dial for the S10. 634 by Marchini. $634 by Marchini. $633, Marchini gets the win, going 005 at the hit. Runs under by 3 thou. Under by a bunch more of the S10, 599 on his 602. Hey, those of you who haven't yet entered into the mill, got another raffle going, $100 a spot over at registration. 23 spots, $100 a spot, one winner out of the group. Get the entry to the mill. It's Dave Cooter, Austin Sloan working their way down track. Pair of roadsters cruising through the cool breeze. 545 on a 544. Sloan was 21 at the hit, 27 on a 29. Cooter got down to the other end of the track, took the stripe, breaks out by 14 thou. As he rockets away his shot at fame and glory for the Jegs 20K, Howard Westbury and Brad Pierce. Pierce all the way from California, Riverside, CA. The 58 vet on a 625 dial. Westbury's Nova. 3rd generation entry. Gets the win. Brad goes 0-0-2 red. Westbury goes 0-0-3 green, runs 71-0 on a 71. So a tidy little 3 thou package for Westbury. Brad Pierce would have been hard-pressed to get inside of it anyway. It's Rob Saunders up next on the right-hand side. Westbury picking up the win there on the left lane, the VP side of the racetrack. Saunders up on the right-hand side. Another 3rd gen Nova taking on Rick LaRock. LaRock's Mustang over here on the left, 650 the dial. Ford goes first, Chevrolet chasing after. Here comes the deuce. Closing in, top end, tapping the brakes, tapped him too much. 593 on a 591. He was better out of the gate with a 14 light, but a 651 on a 50. By LaRock allows him to get there first by 5 thousandths to pick up the W. Jack Liggett's 79 Malibu. Mike Illings, Chevy Cavalier. 544 the dial for Illing. Gladwin, Michigan-based runner up on the right. Going to give up not quite a full second to the Malibu wagon. 79 edition out of Park Drive Oil, and this one's over at the get-go. Red light start, 3 thou. Jack Leggett. Mike Illick says, I'll take it. 544.8 on a 44 dial. It was 26 on the tree. Picks up the W, moves on. Round number 4 of the Jegs 20K, which we will run to conclusion tomorrow. One round for all of our competitors. The Jegs 20K before we call it a day here at US 131, and the Jegs SFG Million Presented by All-Star Performance. Ricky Adkins, right side, 6:04 in the Pontiac. Josh Gant here on the left, going to be Josh, your winner, 6:03. Under by 6 thou on a 6:04 dial. But that was all a free ride because Ricky Adkins turned to red by 001 down here on this end of the racetrack. There's Ryan Kirkpatrick, Peeps Pennington comes sliding in now. Peeps on the right, up from the Lone Star State. Pennington clan, bona fide, certified, hardcore racers. Peeps on a 472 dial. Patrick's two-door converted Malibu wagon over here on the left on a 676. Red light start, Kirkpatrick. Peeps picks up a free one. And Pennington out the back door, 472.8 on a 472. 002 at the hit, little 10 thou package for Pennington. Another competitor would have been tough to get by. Ryan knew it. Took a shot at the tree, missed by 7/10 thousandths of a second. Tracy Butchler. S10 here on the left-hand side, 641 to dial, Lee Newmeyer. Little Vega over on the right, the Buckeye State Warrior. Big block shoehorned in, the advanced chassis, and a Bruzy transmission. Hot rod there on the right, 576 the dial for the Vega. Big block of the Vega going to chase down that truck. Red light start for Butchler. 002, too quick out of the gate. Newmeyer's little Vega. 573 for the win over on the right-hand side. Gun Lake Casino side of the racetrack here at US 131. 573 to $120. Cruising on into round number 4. We'll see him back tomorrow. Steve Hayes out of Colorado. Steve coming down from the Mile High Country. 528 the dial. 662 for Joe Barney over here on the left-hand side, Springfield, Ohio. Black suede Chevrolet S10. Out of JB's Tire Service. S10 on the left. Joe. Steve Hayes, the Camaro on the right. We're clean. We're green. Barney in the truck goes 0-0-8. Lights up the scoreboard, 665 on his 62. Steve Hayes a little bit late out of the gate. He was 28 on the tree, which isn't that bad. But in trying to chase him down, runs 526 on a 528. Hands the win right back over to Joe Barney in the left lane. Wayne Etiquette, first gen Chevy Nova. Van Ohio-based runner, and Ryan Burkle. Burkle's deuce there on the right. Chevy Novas, absolutely a gaggle up here this weekend. First, second, third generation. 631 for Honeycutt, gets the W in the left lane. 22 on the tree. Taking 56 stripe down at the other end for the win. 610 on a 609, but 88 on the tree was Burkle. And an 88 foul reaction time, not going to do you much good. At least not against the 22, because you're already behind and giving chase. Chris Gee up on the right, Mustang. Low riding Ford coming after Corey St. now. Another Chevy dude, another second gen machine. Corey 16 on the tree, 53 on a 52 for the win. Chris Gee had the better light. He was 11, but run 77 on a 75. Comes up 18-10 thou short down at the other end of the racetrack. Does Gee and Corey Saint in the left lane. The Chevy Nova, all the way from Alabama, picks up the W and moves on one more time. Here's Dink Holmes. Bright yellow Camaro on the right-hand side, 598 the dial for the Virginia-based machine. Steve McCrory's Pontiac over here on the left-hand side. Rory on a 747 dial. Look at McCrory's hot rod from the front. Looks like somebody punched him in the left front eyeball, doesn't it? But we're at a drag race, not a car show. Steven goes red. Dink goes, I'll take it. Thank you, sir. We'll see Dink again tomorrow. 6:01 on a 598 after being 20 on the tree. McCrory way early out of the gate. Runs 750 on his 740. 7 dial. Jeff Ledford right side. Blake Richardson here in the left. Blake on a 622. Ledford, who went all the way to the final on last night's big money race for Pro Systems Carburetor. Wheels up launch Richardson. See if he can hold off Ledford. Top end, and he does. Gets it done. 22 on a 22, 48 on the tree. Jeff was trip 09, 9/10,000ths reaction, but goes 526.8 on a 527. Can you say, oops, I didn't mean to do that? Ledford breaks out down at the other end of the racetrack in that right-hand lane, and Blake Richardson's little truck here on the left-hand side gets the win. Billy Hill and Danny Bastianelli. Danny, the Delaware Destroyer, out of Georgetown. Wheeling and dealing, a little mouse-motored. I shouldn't say mouse-motored, but a small-motored Ford. T-Bird on the right-hand side. 566 the dial. Billy Hill out of Mansfield, Missouri. The little Ford Maverick gets the win. Left lane, 657 on a 53. 14 on the tree. Delaware Destroyer, Bastianelli goes 569 on a 66. He's 28 on the tree, second off the line, and give a chase all the way down track. Nate Alexander and Stacy Schroeder. Schroeder over here on the left-hand side, the bright yellow Lumina. I guess you would call that the luminous Lumina. Alexander's Vega. First generation machine over on the right-hand side, 635 the dial. Both drivers bumping in. Vega out in front, gets the handicap start, goes 005, turns it into a 637 win on the 635 dial. 5-10 by Stacy. Stacy on a 512 dial, under by 17. Punches his own ticket out, and Nate gets to stay and play for round number 4 of the Jegs 20K. Charlie Flanagan, Kelly Smith. Kelly up. Another one of our fleet of delivery trucks, the S10 over on the right-hand side. Flanagan, a 65 Pontiac GTO. Sweetheart of a race car. Those of you watching it on Motor Mania, getting a good look at the side of the car as he pulls into the stage beam. 625 the dial for the Pontiac, 661 the dial for Kelly. Hey, you know what? If you didn't see the Pontiac this time, you get to see it again. Red light start, Kelly Smith, he's days done. 662 on a 61 after the red. But a 623 and a 15 thou reaction time for Charlie Flanagan. And the Pontiac lives to see one more round. It's Tim Sloan and the Sloan brothers. Oles Cutlass comes rolling in. Matt Datus, the Ohio-based runner, up in that 1980 Olds Starfire. 642 the dial for Matt, 486 the dial for Tim. Big handicap start, going to go to that little Oldsmobile. Slow and ready to rock. Slow's already your winner as Matt lights the red bulb. Trip 05. 5/10,000's too quick. Worth a 640 lap. 484 on a 486. Sloan drives it out the back door. Already had the wind lights flashing here on the left-hand lane. Top the VP scoreboard. We'll just take a little tuned-up run. Sean Carpenter comes in now. Another one of our first-generation Camaros here this weekend. Sean on the left. 594 the dial for him, and Michael Rourke. Pontiac, Trans Am, right-hand side. 598 the dial. Couple of guys pretty close on their dials. 598 right lane, 594 left lane. See who moves first. Looked to me like it was Michael Rourke. Looking at the screen, it was Michael Rourke. Looking at the wind light, it's, well, yeah, Michael Rourke. 599 on a 98, 006 off the line for O'Rourke. 22 thou the margin at the stripe, 594, dead 8 on the dial for Sean Carpenter, but 32 on the tree. Left him a little late compared to O'Rourke's 006. Jeff Parrish up next. Another one of our niche Novas. Ooh, nice move out of the gate, Jeff. Hikes the front end up, carries it out, sets it down. 23 out of 21. Gets the win by 42 thou. 34 off the line for Jeff Parrish, the Blue Nova in the left lane, picking up the win. Jason Barnes goes 661 on his 659. Unfortunately, his reaction time over on the right-hand side about 3 times what Jeff Parrish's was. Well, we've already discussed how that doesn't work out so well. So Jeff Parrish picks up the W. Let's see if Blaine Parrish could do likewise. Blaine right behind him. $591 the dial for the Mustang. Jeremy Kessler up on the right. The Ohio-based runner. Let's see what he can do. A little bit better out of the gate. The Mustang. 10 on the tree, 92 on the track. Taking 2 thou margin at the finish line for the W. 551 on a 551. But 21 on the tree for Jeremy Kessler. And he comes up short. George Hoff and Billy Farrell come rolling in next. There goes George. Here comes Billy. 701 to a 623 dial. Better light. Goes to Farrell, who runs 25 on that 23 dial in the right-hand lane for the win. 23 thousandths the margin down at the other end of the racetrack. 705 on a 701 by George. Follows across the finish line. Billy Farrell gets the win in the right lane. Matt Pallius comes rolling in now. Another runner out of the Keystone State of Pennsylvania. And Jason Overstreet on the left. A loose change. Ford Mustang 2. Win line, gonna go to Matt. 6 flat on a 601, under by 8. Jason Overstreet and the Mustang 2 goes 604 on a 606, under by 12. 4th out of difference down at the other end of the racetrack as Brian Folk and the Folk Race Cars entry comes rolling in. The Roadster on the right-hand side, 506, Joey Harrison's Mustang out of Maryland. On a 622. Gonna give it a run, gonna give it a ride. Green light, here comes Folk. Got him. 23 thou the margin at the stripe. 506.4 dead on the dial. 008 a 12 thou package for Brian. 30 on the tree for Joey Harrison, and he was just along for the ride. Spectating, even though he ran dead on his dial with a 5 on his 622. A 30 to a 008 light. You're giving chase. Quan Spain and Scott Taylor. Taylor right side. One of the late model Camaro Roadsters. Just like you could go to Chevrolet and order them in 1968. Not. Spain stands the front end up, that little Chevette, but here comes Taylor. Tapping the brakes, goes across with a 486 for an 0.08 of a second margin. 17 on the tree was Taylor. 53 on the tree was Spain. 36 on a 37 and under the dial was Quan. Scotty Taylor's Camaro Roadster picks up the W. Another Camaro rolling in now. This one a little bit more conventional. Still got the roof on it for John Corbin. Brian Adkins, right-hand side. In the deuce. Adkins right side, 616. Both drivers being oh so careful to stage. They're in. Deuce moves first. Here comes the Camaro. Only problem is Brian Adkins moved to first. 11 thou too quick. Lights the red bulb. John Corbin's Camaro on the left lane gets the win. 63 on his 62. 17 on the tree. Brian Adkins handed him the win on the starting line. Is Eric Thomas. Lane Jones get ready to do battle next. Another pair, first-gen Camaros. Late in the left lane, 575. Thomas on the right, a 566. Clean and green, both sides of the racetrack. Let's see who's better at the stripe. Going to be Eric. 68 on his 66. 17 on the tree, taking 6 thou at the stripe. 575.9. Late was dead on the dial with a 9, but a little bit tardy out of the gate by a couple of hun. Tried to make it up at the other end, but Eric Thomas gets the win on the right lane by 6 thousandths of a second. Wes May comes rolling up now. May. Another one of those gunners that you really don't want to pull up alongside. For FTI and May race carbs. Wes on a 675. Ray Holmes on a 576. The Corvette out of Virginia. Out of the gate they go. Ray Holmes says he don't bother me none. 002 at the hit, 78 on a 76, and a Corvette. The right lane takes out West Bay. Bay goes 676 on his 675 dial. It's 27 off the starting line, but Ray Holmes goes 002 Takes a stripe by 18th out and moves on. Wes Weaver and Carlton Thornton. Thornton up on the right to Malibu. Another Virginia-based runner. In fact, both cars coming from the great Commonwealth of Virginia. We were on the left-hand side. The red Camaro down in 548. Carlton's Malibu on a 681. Going to meet Thornton in the Malibu getting the win. 80 on his 81, 17 on the tree. Under by the least by 6/10,000ths of a second. The difference there. Wes Weaver, 547 on a 548. So both drivers diving under their number. Carlton by the narrowest of margins, picking up the win. Tanner Miller up next. Little Vega wagon that says, I think I can, over on the right-hand side. Sweetheart of a car. And Jason Himmerline, the Oldsmobile in the left. There goes the Vega into round number 4 as Jason Himmerline goes 6 foul too quick out of the gate. It's just a nice ride, that Vega. Dead on 8, 006, 14 thou package. Moves to round number 4. 583.8 on a 583, but 6 thou too quick for Hammerline. Tanner Miller in the Vega over on the right-hand lane. Picked up the W that time. Jeff Baldridge, excuse me. Not Gary Fury. Fury's hot rod, the Camaro out of Ohio over on the right-hand side on a 586. Baldridge on a 531. Red light start by Jeff. Gary just kind of cruising on down the racetrack to an easy 673. Baldridge goes 11 thou too quick out of the gate, then runs 32 on his 31. The Fury gets the W on the right-hand side. The Camaro will be back again for round number 4, and that'll be tomorrow. Randy Schurer helping to join him in round 4. All he's got to do now to do that is get around Joe Collis. Collis with another 4th-gen Camaro, 641 dial over here on the left-hand side. Door car, all color. Run stickers to the lanes for the Jegs 20K. Door car, all color. To the lanes, please. Jegs 20K race, round number 3. Collis on a 641. Sure on a 614. Hey, top dragster, top sportsman drivers, attention in the pits. There will be a top sportsman and top dragster drivers meeting at 9 o'clock this evening, Suite 24 here in the tower. Second floor right next to race control, Suite 24 here in the tower. Top sportsman, top dragster drivers meeting. If you know somebody that isn't here right now, you might want to give them a wrinkle. Let them know. Alice gets the win in the left lane. Camaro goes 43 on a 41 after a 006 light. 16 on a 14. 17 on the tree by Randy Schurer in the S10. Done with the Jegs 20K event. Again, top sportsmen, top dragster drivers meeting at 9 o'clock this evening. Room 24 here in the tower. Second floor of the tower, room 24. 9 o'clock tonight. Top sportsman, top dragster drivers meeting. Wheels up launch, Aaron Dysinger. Malibu on the right-hand side. 3.9, 622 on a 622, and he comes up 12 thou short. Chris Dixon goes 003 and 52 with a 0 on his 51 dial. So good light by Aaron. He was 15, runs dead on the dial. But that's a 24 thousandths package compared to a 13 thousandths package for Chris Dixon. Dixon's little deuce there in the left lane gets the win. Kevin Pruitt's wagon. Ray Boyer's Camaro. Logan Sport, Indiana-based runner. And racers, do want to let you know, if you have not yet been to registration for the million, registration will close at 9 o'clock tonight, but will open up again at 7:30 in the morning. Racer registration will close at 9, open again at 7:30 in the morning. 574, Kevin Pruitt gets the win. 574.8 on his 74 dial, 33 on the tree. 621.4 on a 622. Ray Boyer's Camaro had the better light, got to the stripe, took it in by 38 thou, and broke out by 6. Kenny Underwood's Jegs, FTI, Mickey Thompson, Dixie Motorsports entry over here on the left-hand side, 608 the dial, up alongside Seth Phillips. Kenny Underwood, another one of those gunners you just don't want to mess with. At least not till maybe the final round. He is off and running. Seth Phillips, the Mopar machine. Can't hold him off on the other end. 79 on a 77. 610 by Underwood on his 608 dial. Taking 21 stripe and picking up the W. Tyler Ryan, love the Deuce. First generation, steel wheels, dog dish hubcaps. I mean, you know, how much more cool can it get? Somebody lost the key to your scooter. Check in at the head of staging. We've had a lost scooter key found. Well, we know where the key is. We just don't know where the scooter is. So if you know where the scooter is and don't have the key, check in at the head of staging. There goes Tyler Ryan. Here comes Kevin Pollard. Closing in on the stripe. Going to be Pollard getting the win. 542, dead 8 on the dial, 13 on the tree. 21 thousandths package for him, 698. Tyler Ryan went down there, tapped the brakes at the stripe, slows himself up to a 698 on a 95. Comes up 32 thou behind as they cross the stripe. Again, racers, registration will close 9 o'clock this evening. Open up again at 7:30 tomorrow morning. That's Phil Bolton's Deuce, Jerry Burdess, Roadster. You're ready to do battle next. .580 on a 78. Burdess gets the win. He had the better light by 5 thou. Excuse me, 3 thou. Bolton goes through 31 on a 28, and he's behind by 5 thou at the stripe. So Burdess gets the win there on the right-hand side of the racetrack. Mark Payne and the House of Payne come rolling up next on the right-hand side. Dan Gorby here in the left lane, the Camaro out of Michigan. Going to see what he can do with Payne's Cavalier. Pretty healthy handicap start. Payne on a 448 dial. Gorby on a 624. Payne on a 448 dial. Couple of hair dryers forcing air into that LS power plant. Gorby's going to be out in front. Royal Crown Coal entry. Trying to hold him off with the old style, old school, conventional big block. There goes Gorby. Here comes Mark. Gorby's going to make him work for it, and he does work for it. 448, dead 2. 22 on the tree, a 24 thousandths package. 23 on a 24 by Gorby. A little bit too much fizz in the old Royal Crown there. Taking too much stripe. Break it out. Jared Ledford and Jeff Kirkpatrick. Old school, first gen. Chevy Nova, right-hand side. Jared Ledford, left lane. The Pro Systems entry, 724 the dial, going to go first. There he goes. He's your winner. Jared Ledford on the left-hand side, already lined up the VP scoreboard. 620 by Kirkpatrick, but that was after a 4-thou red light start with the Little Deuce. 721 by Jared. Motoring his way into round number 4 of the Jegs 20K. Dustin Rose, Nick Engler come rolling in next. Brian Lone's telling me the interesting history behind Nick Engler's ride. Nick's grandfather bought that car brand new the day he got home from Vietnam. Been in the family since. 69 Dodge Coronet. Cool car. 661 the dial for Nick. Dustin Rose in the Mustang on a 725 here in the left lane. There goes Dustin. Here comes Nick. Rose working the throttle pedal down there to a 726 after being 13 on the tree. Taking 33 stripe for the W. Nick goes cruising through 663 on a 661. A little bit tardy leaving the starting line. Trying to make it up and chase him down. This wasn't going to happen. Third gen Nova's a pair. Jacob Burdess on the right-hand side, the 72 edition. Jimmy Francisco on the left. 69 Nova on the left-hand side. And they are pushing Jacob Burdess's ride back. Puddles out there on the racing surface. Not a good sign. So Jimmy Francisco gets a competition by. Jacob Burdess shut off, so he could not leave in his own moisture, whatever it might be. 573 on a 574 by Francisco. Good for the win. Again, while we got a quiet moment, they do a little quick cleanup out there. Top Dragster, top sportsman drivers. Drivers meeting at 9 o'clock, Suite 24 here in the tower. It's about an hour from now. Top Dragster, top sportsman, drivers meeting, 9 o'clock here in the tower, room 24. And
for high performance? When you want high performance, there's only one place to go. Jegs.com. Jegs.com has the largest selection of high-performance automotive parts on the web. When you need high performance, Jegs.com has the part you want, when you want it. Want performance? You've got it. Jegs.
And we sold out raffle number 1. Raffle number 2 is going on over at Racer Registration. $100 a spot for in the raffle. Still some spots in raffle number 2. Raffle number 1 filled up quick, so they jumped right into raffle number 2. Still got some spots. If you're interested for a raffle draw for the mill. Camaro on the right-hand side, 625. Kevin Ronsvega here on the left. On a 591. Kevin closing in, top in at the stripe. Not going to get him. 590 with a 7. Takes a stripe by 3 and breaks out by 3. Whew. 625.4 on a 25 for the Camaro, the big block combo. Picking up the W. Cruising on into round number 4, the Jegs 20K. Donnie Hager, S10 left. Ricky Atkins, Pontiac GTO. 68 edition. Here come the judge. Here come the judge.
Bulldog, baby.
Order in the courtroom. Here come the judge. You got to be old to follow along with that one. Hager off and running. Ricky right alongside of him, but it's going to be Hager in the truck in the left lane getting the win. 33.4 on his 33, 12 on the tree, a little 16 pack. 13 at the hit, and an 048 on a 605 dial by Ricky. Can you say breaking out by a couple of thou? Yep, sure can. Max Brewer, Lee Newmeyer. Newmeyer back in the Vega. That's the Vega over on the right-hand side. Brewer in the Vega here on the left. Battle of the econo boxes. Not quite so economical anymore, but battle of the econo boxes. Wow. 005 to a 004 light. The 004 gets the win. That's Lee Newmeyer on the right-hand side. 004, 77 on the 75. 005 light for Max Brewer, and he goes 09 on the 611. Took the stripe by 39 thou and broke out by 20. Had a little bit of room to play with down there. Not a bunch, but a little. Jesse Alberts comes rolling in now, the Firebird on the right-hand side. Bob Payton, first gen Chevy Deuce. All right, Payton's in, Albert's in. We are clean and green both sides of the track. 660 feet later, it's determined that Jesse Alberts in the right lane. The Firebird picks up the win, 581.6 on a 581 dial, taking 7th out stripe for the W, 619 on a 17. For Bob Payton down at the other end of the racetrack is be at Tedesco. Rolls in to Mosier. Engineering Camaro on the left lane, and Matt Richezzi over on the right-hand side, the Mustang. As Matthew rolls back around one more time, 639, the dial here. Me on a 583. Gonna let go of the button, let the Camaro see if it can track down that pony. Red light starts, you don't need that to worry about it. Matt goes 004 red, punches his own ticket. Me in the left lane. 582.8 on a 583 and a 005 light. Pretty good numbers both into the racetrack for me on a free ride. She moves on to round number 4. Coming tomorrow. Again, top dragster, top sportsman drivers. Meeting at 9 o'clock, room 24 here in the tower. 9 o'clock, room 24 here in the tower. Top sportsman, top dragster drivers meeting at 9 p.m. this evening. Room 24 here in the tower. Mike Stokes and Deke Holmes. Mopar and Chevrolet. Handicap start, going to go to the Camaro. Stokes on a 538. Give it chase. Deke a little bit better at the end. Stokes not going to get there. 538 did 3 on the dial, but a 51 light by Mike punched his ticket. 602.1 on a 6 flat. 32 on the tree. Deke Holmes gets to the other end. Takes the win. Or takes the stripe. And therefore the win by 10 thou. David Davis and Peeps Pennington. We saw Peeps get the W a while ago with 1 entry. See if we can keep both rides alive. And into round number 4, David Davis. Camaro out of Ohio here in the left, standing in his way. 656, the dial for Sir Davis. Peeps on the right on a 472. Red light start, David. Peeps picks up the W again. Texas-based Roadster cruises through. 471 out of 472. A little quick to the dial, but the red light start by David Davis, who went 009 Punched his own ticket out in a 6:55 lap after that. Nick Folk back up in the Cobalt. Austin Sloan in the Corvette, 5:44. Austin's going to give Mr. Folk a bit of a handicap start. Folk will be looking at that right-hand side, trying to size up the nose of the Corvette. Three spots left in raffle number 2, and after it's full, there will be no more raffles. Folk gets the win. Dead on 6, 10 on the tree, little 16-thou package. Sloan gave him a ride. 002 and 45 on a 44. Comes up short by 6, 10 thou down at the other end. Carly Trueller, Brad Pierce. Bradley looking to see if he can stay alive a little bit longer. Runner out of California, the 58 edition Corvette. And that's a real Corvette. Carly on the left. Brad Pierce, 20 on the tree, 27 at the stripe. Picks up the W on his 625 dial, taking 21 thousandths down at the end. 628 on a 629 by Carly. Breaks out by 7 thou down at the other end of the racetrack. Brad got there first by 21 ten-thousandths of a second. Final call, door cars to the lanes. Jegs 20K. If you're not in the lanes, you're late. Tardy to the party, as the expression goes. Edmund Richardson. Mike Marcette working their way down track. Edmund off and running, lights up the scoreboard. 94 on his 593 dial here in the left lane. 553 on a 552 by Marcette. Give it a good run. Comes up a little bit short. Jody Davies, Mike Illig. Illig over on the right-hand side. 2004 Chevrolet Cavalier bodied entry. Great big block underneath the hood. Jody Davis out of Gallatin, Tennessee. Off and running. Third gen Camaro here on the left-hand side, trying to hold off Gillig. Gets it done. 666. On a 665, he was 13 at the hit. 545 on a 544 by Illig. Gave it a pretty good run down the racetrack, but he was 32 off the line. Jody Davis able to get the win and the stripe by 18 thou down at the other end. Jeggy comes in now. Coughlin driving his Deuce wagon. 67 Chevy 2 station wagon. Steve Hayes out of Colorado. He probably wishes he'd come to the lanes a little bit earlier. Jeggy off and running. Steve Hayes goes 0-0-4. Car moving around a little bit on him there in the middle. He was just a little bit to the left of the groove. Jag goes 610 on a 607 after being trip 02 green. So Hayes gives it a ride, goes 552, but you can see moving a little bit to the left out of the groove. Out there about the 300-foot mark, tried to ease it back in. Car did a little sachet out there, and Steve says, hey, we got a lot more racing to do this weekend. See what we can do. Josh Gant, Wayne Honeycutt, working their way down. Battle of the Deuces, going to be won by Josh's machine out of Ohio. 602 on a 604. Double breakout. Gant's under by 12. Honeycutt's under by, well, a bunch more. Attention in the pits. Double-header dragsters. Jegs 20K, double enter dragsters. Jegs 20K, needs you to lanes 1 and 2. Double enter dragsters. Jegs 20K, round number 3, needs you lanes 1 and 2. Annalise LeBlanc, Iron Westbury, working their way through. Annalise gets the win. 601 on a 602. Under by a thou, 570 on a 571. Under by 6 thou was Howard. A scant couple of thousandths of a second difference between the two of them down track. Scotty Richardson comes up right side. Corey Saint in the left. Corey on the 653 dial is going to go first. Scotty had some problems with the truck earlier today. Able to get it repaired, refurbished, and ready to go for the Jegs 20K. The raffle has been filled. Raffle has been filled. We are done with raffles for tonight. Scotty off and running. Scotty at the stripe, picking up the win. 27.5 on a 27 after being 23 on the tree. 47 on a 53. Running way under the dial was Corey Saint. So Scotty Richardson's truck there on the right lane picks up the W as Ryan Kirkpatrick and Joe Barney come rolling in. Barney, another one of our fleet of S10s. Go open up the SFG rapid delivery service. We got enough S10 trucks here, we can deliver anything, anywhere, as long as we can continue to stop for gas. Kirkpatrick, 676, moves first. Here comes Joe. Barney may be in trouble. Kirkpatrick goes 003.79 with an egg for the win. Taking 12,000 stripe for the W, 665 on a 63 by Joe Barney. He was 19 at the hit, not bad. Kirkpatrick was just that much better. Rick LaRock in his Mustang. Tracy Mutchler in the S10, 641 to 650. Again, double enter dragsters, Jegs 20K, round 3. Needs you lanes 1 and 2, please. Double enter dragsters, Jegs 20K. Lanes 1 and 2. Come on down for round number 3. Double enter dragsters, lanes 1 and 2. Rick LaRock lights the red. 5 foul, too quick out of the gate. Mutchler's truck on the right-hand side goes 001, 42 on a 41 for the win. Rick LaRock's evening is completed, 651 after that 005 light. Billy Hill, the runner out of Mansfield Mo. Over on the east side of the state, Billy is in a little Ford Maverick. Right-hand side, dialed in 655. Flanagan back up in a good-looking Pontiac GTO. Figured he did good left lane a little bit earlier. Why not stay over here on the left-hand side, see if he can do it again. 624 the dial for Chuck, so he'll be giving chase. Sweetheart of a 65 Pontiac GTO. Put the flat hood back on it. Car looked great on the street, wouldn't it? Out of the gate, off and running. Flanagan trying to reel him in. Top end does. 24 with a 3 on a 24. A little 20 thousandths package for Chuck. 655.5 on a 655 dial. Billy Hill. Well, driver's dead on their dial. Billy just a little bit behind, leaving the starting line. That cost him down at the finish line. Colin Estes and Danny Argell. Danny on the right, the Mustang. Bright yellow ride on a 625. Colin Estes over here. Another first gen. This time a Acadian. Canadian belt hot rod goes 592.8 on a 592. Picking up the W. 629 on a 25. Danny's Ford. He was 12 on the tree, had the better light, just didn't run the number down at the other end of the racetrack. Colin Estes stakes that Acadian. goes cruising through with a 592 dead on lap and a 28 thou margin of victory. Jeff Burdess, another one of our fleet of wagons here this weekend. Jeffrey off and running to Malibu out of Hemlock, Michigan. Right to hold off Stacy Schroeder. And does. 74-2 on a 74, 18 thousandths package for Burdess. Takes 13 stripe for the win. Schroeder goes through 5-10 with a 3. He's dead on the dial. But he was 28 on the tree. Aaron Dysinger and Jeg Coughlin come rolling in now. Jeggy won just a few moments ago. Rolling back in. See if he can stay alive some more. Another double O line for Jeggy. This time 006 and a 15 win. 615 on a 607. 623 on a 622. Dysinger dead late out of the gate. I mean like way late out of the gate. The last of our door cars for round number 3 of the Jegs 20K event. Jack Leggett comes rolling in, the Eaton, Indiana-based runner. And again, double entry dragsters for the Jegs 20K, round number 3. If you guys aren't in lanes 1 and 2 right now, Brian Loans is going to scold you ferociously here in a moment. Again, top sportsmen and top dragster drivers. Drivers meeting 9:00 as Jack Leggett makes his by run down the racetrack. 624 on a 625, and the door cars, round number 3. The Jegs 20K and the dragsters now looking for red, white, and blue for round number 3 of the Jegs 20K. So our double entry dragsters and red, white, and blue for the Jegs 20K, round number 3 contestants. Come on down. The price.
Some people just think parts is parts, but not us. Because we know when you order any of the over 1 million parts at Jegs.com, you get the whole company. Expert advice, day or night, from the pros who know how to make you go. From now on, get your parts and your smarts only at Jegs.com. Selection, service, and sweet satisfaction. That is Jegs.com.
It's a party, it's a trick, it's a fire. Keep it up, never quit, quit, quit. Let it out, take a sip, sip, sip. You're pulling me from a higher elevation. Gravity in the making, wanna move to your beat, beat, beat. I'm stuck in the heat. Go easy on me. When you steal my heart, easy on me. When I fall apart, easy on me. Take it from the start.
Just when you thought it was safe to go outside, there is one more raffle. Yes, we might have said there were no more raffles, but that was not true. There is one raffle. If you'd like to get in there, you know what the deal is. 17 spots, 23 spots. My apologies. 23 spots, $100 a spot, or an attempt to win a spot. Just pay your $100 to get a 1 in 23 shot of earning an entry into the $1.1 million race that starts tomorrow. So this is it, the last and final raffle. The 28 raffles previous, you thought no. But this one, this is the one, baby. This is when you put that money in, throw your hundo down, and you got a 1 in 23 shot of winning your entry into the $1.1 million race for the low sum of just 100 smackers. What a return on investment that would be. I have spent $100 on a lot of crap in my life, and not any of it has had any shot of being worth $1 million.
Go easy on me. Easy, go easy on me.
Couple of trips around the horn with the drag, and we will be back at it here with our dragsters in the staging lanes we have called red, white, and blue run stickers for the dragster category into the lanes, red, white, and blue run stickers for the dragster category into the lanes, and this will be the last kind of set of cars we run down through the night. We'll finish this round out for the remaining competitors, and then that will be the end of the evening. Tomorrow morning we'll have new entry time runs, but before that we'll have the Hanson Global Breakfast of Champions at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. That will be catered by Cracker Barrel. Then there is a tent set up behind the grandstand on the pit side of the racetrack. There'll be prepackaged, nicely made breakfast by the folks at Cracker Barrel. You can go over there and grab one and bring it right back to your pit area and eat with your friends and family. So that's going to be at 8 a.m. tomorrow. We thank Hanson Global for the Breakfast of Champions. And then at 9 a.m. we'll have new entry time runs for the SFG Jegs Million. And then first round and re-entry will be run tomorrow. Once again, we are in the midst of the final raffle. They wrote a song about that in the 80s. The final raffle. 23 spots, and they're going fast. And the first pair rumbling around the corner right now. Burnouts being made, and our dragsters get things kicked off here for our Jegs 20K warm-up race, round number 3. Gary Williams Jr., left side of the racetrack, FTI Mosier, Mickey Thompson, 482 dial-in over there. And on the right side, Justin Daniels dialed 530. The Showtime Motorsports car. Both cars moving in now as Gary Williams Jr. and Justin Daniels try to take one step closer to $20,000. Pre-stage is Gary Williams. Red light start by Justin Daniels, 6th hour red light, so Gary Williams Jr. gets the win light. 479.7 on a 482 dial for Williams after he saw that Daniels had fouled out. Daniels ran the dial with a 2 after going 006 red. Now it's Nick Eisenhower and Kip Burkhardt coming up. Burkhardt on the right side of the racetrack. Dial 488. Nick Eisenhower, 492 dial in, left side of the racetrack.
Saddlebags on that thing.
Eisenhower grabs the fully staged spot second. Wow. Reaction times within 7/10 thou of each other, and it's gone to the right side of the racetrack. Kip Burkhardt, double breakout, 487.6. On a 488 dial-in for Burkhardt with an 11 light gets him the win light, but on the other side it's Eisenhower losing. And Howe got to the finish line first by 2 thou, 6 inches, by going 491.5 and a 492 dial-in. Eisenhower was 11.2 on the reaction time. Burkhardt was 11.9 on the reaction time. Brad Clark, Honey Wayne on the right side. Hunter Patton over there is 463. The dial-in for Patton. Clark 464 on the left-hand side of the racetrack. Brad Clark's car came off the starting line well, but then stumbled very hard. Is Wayne going to take advantage? 0:23 reaction time for Hunter. I should say for Honey Wayne. 0:23 light goes 464.6 on a 463 dial-in with a 23 reaction time. Patton took 34 or 3/10 at the finish line, but he knew he had him right where he wanted him as Clark had that stumble off the starting line. He was 5 on the tree and then 497.1 with the car. Almost like it was starving for fuel. Very strange. Bailey Ferraro and Kenny Carson on the right side of the racetrack. 474 dial for Carson. Bailey Ferraro dialed 483. All color run sticker dragsters to the lanes. All color run sticker dragsters left in the Jegs 20K to the lanes, please. Bailey Ferraro and Kenny Carson roaring down into the afternoon or the evening here. 474.1 on a 474 dial with a 23 reaction time for Kenny Carson. Wins the drag race. Bailey Ferraro got to the finish line first, taking 35 and breaking out 478 on a 483 dial. Kevin Brandon and Sherman Adcock now. Adcock 465 dial, Brandon dialed 449. Once again, we got a raffle going on right now. 23 spots, not sure how many are left. $100 a chance. Winner gets an entry into the $1.1 million race. Down to 15. So they are declining in number. 15 spots left. Red light start for Sherman Adcock. Brandon goes 446.2 at 154 miles an hour to move on to the next round as Adcock will slowly head down the racetrack. 661.0 at 69.96 miles an hour. All run sticker colors. All run sticker colors for dragsters to the lanes, please. All run sticker colors for dragsters to the lanes, please. Steve McCrory and Mike Bodner. Bodner, 494 dial-in. McCrory dialed 485. Jimmy Bradshaw up there in the starting line, giving it the magic touch. Beautiful evening here at US 131 Motorsports Park. Jegs 20K round 3 action in Dragster happening right before our very eyes. In comes Mike Bodner. Another set of killer reaction times. Pick your side. It's going to be Bodner. 492.5 at 129 miles an hour. Both of them were under where they had dialed, but McCrory was the worst offender as he's got to the finish line first. McCrory took 16 at the finish line, 3.1 feet. He ran 481.9 on a 485 dial-in. Bodner was 0045 on the tree. McCrory was 0044 on the tree, and Steve McCrory is eliminated. Jerry Brewer and Scott Sill coming up right now. Brewer 446. Left-hand side of the racetrack. Scott Sill, 466, right-hand side of the racetrack. We have certainly seen some breakout-style racing as the air continues to get a little better, cool off. Racetrack has plenty of teeth in it, as we know. Direct sun is off it. It's cooling into that kind of perfect zone. Brewer with the blown car here, maybe picking up some. We'll find out. He's got it dialed at 446. Red light start for Jerry Brewer by 3 thou. So Scott Sill will go 465.1 at 146 miles an hour. Brewer's car went 4.507 after a 003 red light. Brewer at 155.66 and Scott Sill at 146.77 miles an hour. Tom Gall and Tanner Thorpe coming up. Thorpe 461 the dial in. Gall 495 the dial in. The Gallstar TV. Check them out on YouTube, of course. Gallstar TV channel. They make great videos. Tons of great videos from SFG races. Been getting great help from those guys shooting some of our interview stuff that we've done outside of the tower, and it's been great. So big ups to the Gall family. Tanner Thorpe going to charge up on Tom Gall, and it's Tanner Thorpe. And again, we get a double breakout scenario here as everybody's picking up some. 459.9 on a 461 dial for Tanner Thorpe with a 007 light as Tom Gall went 491.7, took 18 at the finish line on a 495 dial in. So he was 32 under the dial. Didn't take much, a couple of feet down there at speed, but Tom Gall is eliminated. Tanner Thorpe keep on keeping on as Dave Cox is on the right side of the track and Sean Parker is on the left. So Sean Parker, 441 on the left-hand side of the racetrack, going to be sitting for a hot second as Dave Cox going to be roaring here in a moment. Slight delay didn't hurt Parker at all. Man, he had the better reaction time, but check that out. Dave Cox is 006, 10 dead on, 510 with a 0 on a 510 dial, a 6 thou package for Dave Cox as Sean Parker was 001 on the tree, took 11, which is 27.5 inches at the finish line stripe and broke out, going 4.403 on a 441 dial. So Dave Cox wins. Dead on, 006. Parker was 001 and 68 10 thou too quick. Yikes. Jeff McClure, right side of the racetrack. Left-hand side the dial, 472. Little wiggle out there early for the dragster on the left-hand side. Jeff McClure goes 5.11.9 on a 5.13 dial-in. Once again, we're talking double breakout, but get this. The margin of victory on this race is quadruple 0. The MOV is quadruple 0 on this race. There is no distance calculation. It is too minute to be calculated by our clock up here. 13:20 goes where I'm getting these distances from, and Jeff McClure goes 5.11.9 on a 5.13 dial with a 14 light. On the left side of the racetrack, that racer went 4.707 on a 4.72 dial with a 17 light. There is no how much did he take or how much didn't he take because the margin is 4 zeros. 128 off on the left side, 107 off on the right side. Amazing. Lee Dixon and Donnie Burleson go down the racetrack. Burleson has the better reaction time, but Lee Dixon on the left-hand side of the strip gets the win light. 4.11.1 on a 4.81.1 on a 4.81 dial with an 0.29 light was what he needed to do to win that one, and he did as Donnie Burleson broke out 4.51.8 on a 4.52 dial. He was 19 on the tree, took 12 at the stripe. Again, just a shade over 2 feet, but he was too quick, got there first, and Burleson's eliminated. Troy Williams and Tim Thomas. Thomas dialed 468, Williams dialed 484. Tim Thomas better have some magic in his hat there at the top end, and he does. Troy Williams was 005, Thomas was 12, and I thought he was cooked, but he wasn't. Troy Williams breaks out, goes 482.5 and a 484 dial. He's 005 on the tree. He takes 16 at the stripe, and he is toast. As Tim Thomas 467.4 on a 468. Williams hustled it down there and broke out. Dang. Timothy Thomas right side, Benny Ulmer left side. We've called all run sticker colors to the staging lanes, all run sticker colors to the lanes. Ulmer dialed 449, Thomas dialed 481. Thomas, 482.2 on a 481 dial. 006 reaction time for Timothy Thomas as Benny Ulmer breaks out, going 448.4 on a 449 dial. A 001 light, takes 23 at the finish line and loses. So Benny Ulmer breaks out, Tim Thomas advances. Shannon Justice and Tanya Pruitt. Pruitt left side. A little adjustment where she's going to put that car in the groove right there. And Shannon Justice dial 474 on the right side. Been breakout city so far in this third round of the Jegs 20K. Shannon Justice 004 green and a win light 476.8 on a 474 dial, as Tanya Pruitt was 4702 on a 470, but Shannon Justice, because of the 004 light, got it done. Took 20 down there, 4.4 feet for Shannon. The win light 476 on a 474. Pruitt 51 on the tree, and then again goes 4702 on that 70 dial in, but Shannon Justice had plenty to work with and only spent a little of it. Tom Dauber and Johnny Ezel coming up. Ezel 477. The dial on the right side is Tom Dauber 470 on the left side. New Jersey versus Louisiana here in the starting line. And will be Ezel from Louisiana second to stage. Ezel's on first, wrapping the throttle, goes 477.4 on a 477 dial. Gets the win light. He was 11 on the tree to Dauber's 28, takes 8 thou, 20 inches down there at the stripe. So Ezel advances himself onto the next round, and Tom Dauber goes 469.5 on a 470 at a 28 light, and Ezel got there first. Ken Hanley and Kendall Payne coming up. Payne dialed 470 right side. Hanley dialed 469 on the left. Kendall Payne, Ken Hanley. Great drag race, 4.708 for Kendall Payne. 30 on the tree. Hanley was 69.1 on a 69. It was 39 on the tree. The margin is exactly the reaction time differential. Wild. Kendall Payne moves on to the next round. Ken Hanley won't. Troy Stone right side. Christine Kurbitz left side. So Christine Kurbitz 483 dialing and Troy Stone 447 on the right side. light start for Kurbitz by 11. So Troy Stone, 4:45.0, 154.85. Kurbitz completed the run 481 at 141.42. Next pair of dragsters backing up. Cameron Manuel right side. Noah Rambo left side. Rambo dialed 458. Manuel dialed 452. So Rambo and Manuel side by side. Rambo a very slight advantage on the starting line. Win light as they both run under their dial-ins. Double breakout here. Cameron Manuel, how did he lose it? Rather, yes, how did Cameron Manuel lose the race? He goes 4:49.8. On a 4:52 dial-in with a 26 reaction time, Rambo earns the win light. 4:56.3, 20 on the tree, takes a thou at the finish line and moves ahead. Mike Bloomfield right side dialed 472. Rick Morley left side dialed 478. Rick Morley and Mike Bloomfield. Bloomfield dialed 472, Morley dialed 478, and Morley goes red, 005. Then goes 478 too on a 478 dial. Bloomfield goes 469.8 at 151.52. Burnouts complete for the next pair. Rob Leipziger and Steve Taylor coming up. It's Taylor on the right side, dialed 422. Leipziger dialed 460. Interesting to see Taylor dialed in that 22 zone as that car has lived in the low 20s, and pretty much everybody's been picking up. Leipziger, fully staged. Here comes Steve Taylor. And the roaring blown dragster 4:21.9 breaks out, and Leipziger runs a 60 on a 60, dead on with a 27 reaction time. Taylor was only too quick by 3:10 thou, 4:21.97. Ugh. So Taylor was 19 on the tree, Leipziger 27. Dead on with that 27 light. Moves Leipziger ahead, Travis Laster and Tommy Plott. As our parade of dragsters continues into the evening. Tommy Plott dialed 473 left side. Travis Laster 420 flat. Man alive, Plott was 002 and he wins. Again, both cars under by only a very small margin as Tommy Plott 472.95 and a 473 dial-in. Took 9 thou at the stripe. 5:10 thou quick, gets the win light. Travis Laster runs 4:19.6 under. He was 4 thou under with a 15 reaction time. But it's Tommy Plott getting the job done and moving ahead. Joe Williams and Adam Sweet, 484 the dial-in. Joe Williams dialed 496. us here. 485.8 for Adam Sweet with a 14 light. Gets a win as Joe Williams breaks out. 495.0 on a 496 dial. Took 33 down there, which works out to 7 feet at 137 miles an hour for Joe Williams. So Adam Sweet didn't go under. He moves on. Jackson Waters and Lenny Butcher coming up right now. Butcher left side of the racetrack, 475 dial. Jackson Waters looking at a 483 on the dial-in board right side. His dad, Bill, sitting in the water box. Sides, and the wind light comes on for Lenny Butcher. 477.6 on a 75 dial with a 19 light. Jackson Waters, stop if you heard this before, breaks out. 482.2 on a 483 dial. Took 26 down there, which again works out to about 5 feet. He was 27 on the tree. Felt like he needed to take it. He took it, and he broke out. Bill Waters now, Jackson's dad. Kanan Barrio coming up on the left side. Barrio dialed 470. Waters dialed 490. We'll find out if the elder of the Waters boys can stay in competition. Bill was mighty aggressive on the tree, and he gets the win light because of it. Both of them running way under. Double breakout as Waters goes 487.8 at 141 miles an hour and a 490 dial. He had 008 light, took a hunt at the finish line, only 25 inches. Barrio was 467.6 on a 470. He was 239 off the number. Waters 216. Yikes. Tough stuff down there, but Bill Waters advances, so the kid may be out, but the old man's still in. Scotty Taylor and Scott Marsden continue on now. 477 left side. Scotty Taylor dialed 453 on the right side. Red light start for Scotty Taylor. 003 red. Scott Marsden goes 476.3 at 144.74 to move on. And Taylor missed the tree by 3,000, then runs 448.9 at 154. Jason Lynch. Rich Jelich coming up right side. Jelich dialed 481. Lynch dialed 483. Clean and mean, both sides. Lynch and Jelich to the stripe. It is Lynch, 482.6 on a 483 dial. Jelich goes 801.9 on an 81 dial. Jason Lynch was 15 on the tree. Took the stripe by 5 thou, or 14 inches down there on the left-hand side of the drag strip. 39.10 thou off his dial. Jelich 81.10 thou off his dial, going 481.9 at 135 with a 25 light. Rick Verkler and Dave Elliott coming up now. Dave Elliott, the black dragster on the right side of the racetrack. Rick Verkler, left-hand side of the racetrack. Has been the breakout battle round here. And they are gone with Dave Elliott going 005. Verkler's 10, and Elliott gets the win light. 483.9, 483 dial-in. 14 thousandths pack for Dave Elliott. On the other side of the racetrack, Rick Verkler was busy breaking out. Verkler 66.9 on a 68 dial-in, took 15th thou down there, which again ain't much, it's only 3 feet, but it was enough to break him out and put him out. So Dave Elliott with a 9 thousandths pack forced Verkler's hand down there. Don't want to take anything away from what Elliott did because he drove a great run as Brandon Phillips and Chris Reynolds coming up now. Reynolds dialed 452, Phillips dialed 524. Rearranging the numbers on both sides of the Christmas tree here. Roaring off the starting line, Phillips has a huge advantage, and he blows it. Brandon Phillips, 19 on the tree to Reynolds, 34. The only thing he didn't have to do was break out, and that's exactly what he did. Chris Reynolds, 451.2, gets the win light, and Brandon Phillips got to the finish line first, taking 35, which is about 8 feet, going 521.1 and a 524 dial-in, about 130 miles an hour. And Chris Reynolds, 451, says, "Thank you, Brandon. I let you take it. You had it, and I will continue racing." Rick Schneider and Gene Lampshire coming up right now. TFC Transportation, 498. The dial-in on the right side for Lampshire, as Schneider is dialed 471 on the left side. Again, we're looking at just a couple of Hun spread here. Schneider's in. And a red light start for Schneider. You saw that car kind of lurch, and then it went 003 red. So Schneider, 4708 after the red light at 145. And Lampshire moves on, going 98.7 with an 18 reaction time, so a 25 pack for Lampshire on the right side. Darren Lotz and Ron Truler. Truler left side, 486 dial All-Star Performance. Lane Automotive, the sponsors. Darren Lotz from Waynesboro, Virginia. Lotz Furnishings and Appliances dialed 479. So not going to say that the son is doubting his father on the dial-in right now, but the son is doubting his father on the dial-in. Just saying. For the record, for the public record, I'm sharing that. We'll find out what happens here as Ron Truler pre-staged. Both of them in there. Truler first to lock it down. Ooh, Truler looking deadly out there. 002 light. Does the car have the gusto? You better believe it. 488. 002 light on a 486 dial-in. Ron Truler handles his business. Darren Lotz, 79.4 on a 79 with a 41 reaction time. The old man can drive. The old man can drive. Man, could be heartbroken. His son, apparently doesn't believe in him or anything, but no, just kidding. Just kidding. Austin was up here pulling for you the whole time, Ron. I'm just joking around. That was really cool. He advances on to the next round, and Darren Lotz, that's a tough one there. They're all tough out here. Truler took 23, which works out to about 5 feet. Gary Ingold and Brad Taylor coming now. Taylor, 477 right side. Ingold, 483 left side. Mickey Thompson, Durley Auto Center, the sponsors for Gary Ingold. Remember, tomorrow morning, it is the Hanson Global Breakfast of Champions provided for you in the tent behind the grandstands. It's going to be Cracker Barrel catered, and they're going to be individual meals that you can bring back with you to your trailer and eat with your family. Brad Taylor punches the lights out with a 009 and takes the win light. 476.7 on a 477 dial-in. Taylor was 009 on the tree. Took 8 thou at the finish line stripe, which works out to about 20.5 inches. And Gary Ingold went 4.803 and a 4.83 dial-in. He was 40 on the tree. So Jared Burtis and Brian Folk will be coming up next. Folk, of course, the VP Racing Fuels and VP Lubricant sponsorship on the side of the dragster. Folk race cars. Guys have been in this world forever. And Jared Burtis on the right side from Greenwood, Illinois. 487 the dial-in for Burtis. And we're shrinking the field a pair at a time. The Jegs 20K, we started it on Monday, and we will finish it tomorrow. Red light start for Jared Burtis. Missed it by 0.06 of a second. So Folk goes 4.56.4, legging it through at 152.34 miles an hour. Burtis goes 4.87.5 at 141.6. PJ Rains, left side of the racetrack. Andre Nunez, right side. Nunez dialed 483 and Rains dialed 470. So Rains and Nunez now. Separation. 13 numbers down there in the scoreboards. You can see the 70 underneath, or the 70 on Rains' side and the 83 on Nunez' side. Red light start for Rains by 16. Nunez hits the tree for a 12. It goes 4.804 at 142 miles an hour. PJ Rains 4.67, 4 at 146.91 after the 16th hour red light on the left-hand side of the drag strip. Chris Sons from Greenbrier, Tennessee, making his way back, and Paul Campanella, right side of the racetrack from Wilmington, Delaware. 470 flat, the dial in for Campanella, as Sons is dialed 469. There is one spot, and I'm not being a used car salesman here. I'm not trying to sell you a used car. There's one spot left in the raffle. That's it. The Austin stamp of integrity is on this statement. So you got one spot left. You can throw your 100 in. You'll have a 1 in 23 chance of entering the $1.1 million race for a mere $100 investment. So Chris Sons left side, Paul Campanella right side. Sons going to be second of stage. Looking good on both sides. Campanella owns it, and he owns it both ways. 4.701, a 15 light, a 16 pack for Campanella. Moves him on. Took 25 down there, 5.2 feet of distance for Paul Campanella. And for Chris Sons, a 33 light was the biggest of his problems. He went 469.9, so only 9 thou off the dial, but he gave up a bunch on the starting line to Paul Campanella. Nice run there by Paul. Earned his way into round number 4, which will be run tomorrow. Kyle Coltrera of Maine and Dan Wheeler on the right side of the racetrack now. Wheeler dialed 461, Coltrera dialed 452. Mickey Thompson, VP Racing Fuels, IBH, and AXL Hauling, the sponsors for Kyle Coltrera. Coltrera, multi-time divisional champion in the world of NHRA drag racing. He's raced comp eliminator, among other categories. But he loves the high-stakes stuff that we're doing here this week at the SFG Jegs Million. Coltrera absolutely nailing Dan Wheeler to the wall. 449.8, 452 dial for Coltrera. Takes it as both of them were too quick, but Coltrera is going to move on here. 49.8. Took 8 thou at the stripe. Moves Kyle Coltrera ahead as Wheeler was 457.9 on a 461 dial and 20 on the tree. Coltrera 002. Played chicken down there and won, so Coltrera goes to round number 4. Corey Galitti and Scotty Richardson coming up now. We saw Richardson in the re-entry race for the $100,000 event drop a near 4-digit perfect reaction time on his competitor. He's got a handful here with Corey Galitti on the right side of the racetrack. 484 the dial in for Galitti. Richardson in 88. Richardson grabs his fully staged spot and leaves. Not as good as the re-entry race, but good enough to get the job done for Richardson. He's 008, 89.7 on the 88 dial. Galitti breaks out, taking 25 at the big end, about 5 feet worth. Runs 482.9 on a 484 dial-in, so Galitti drives himself right out of competition, and Scotty Richardson moves on to round number 4. Dennis Lund Jr., right side of the racetrack, dialed 461. Val Torres Jr. out of Chino, California, dialed 466. Torres family been well represented, doing what they normally do, turning on round win lights here, making that long haul, 16 or 26 hours, I don't know, some ungodly amount of driving it took to get the Torres family here from California. Tree comes down. And both a couple of tough reaction times here, but it is going to be Lund. 63.3 on a 463 dial-in. He goes 26 on the tree, takes 12 at the finish line, and wins as Taurus runs 66.0 on a 66 dial, but he was way late for him. He was 41, giving up way too much to Lund. So he ran dead on zero with a 41 light, and Lund was 26 and off by 33, 10th down to move on. Troy Coughlin and Travis Laster Jr. coming up now. Laster Jr. 478 dial. We see Coughlin, the Jegs.com dragster, dialed 461. And we have called all color run stickers to the lanes. We've made that final call a little while ago, but all color run stickers, you should be in the lanes if you're still in competition in the Jegs 20K in Dragster. Travis Laster does not want to give Troy Coughlin anything back, and he won't. How you like that? Laster is 478.9 on a 478 with a 003 reaction time, 12-pack. We go over to Troy Coughlin. He is 461.2 on a 461 dial with a 14 light, 16-pack. The 12-pack beats a 16 all day long. Taking 40 down there, about 10 inches is Travis Laster Jr. So Laster moves on, and Coughlin threw the kitchen sink at him, but Travis Laster bobbed and weaved his way into the next round. Terrell Thompson, 448 dial-in right side. Lauren Freer, 463 dial-in left side. Terrell Thompson and Lauren Freer both in pre-stage. There goes Terrell Thompson. And here comes Lauren Freer. Red light start for Freer by 25. Freer goes to 61.8 at 150 miles an hour, and Terrell Thompson 446.8 at 154.48. The Gun Lake Casino side of the racetrack. You see the wind light over there. Lucas Fisher and Jeff Serra coming up. 478 dial-in for Jeff Serra right side. Lucas Fisher dial 518. So Fisher 518 rolls it ahead. The sponsor, Larry Fisher. That's Lucas's dad. Jeff Serra, the FTI sponsorship. Mickey Thompson and Nesbitt Racing Engines. So Sarah looking at a 478 dial-in and Fisher a 518. Jeff Serra flickers the bulb and locks down. Lucas Fisher, look at you. 003 reaction time, and he loses. Wow. Jeff Serra was 008. He goes 479.2 and a 478 dial, taking 8th out at the stripe. Lucas Fisher was 003 on the starting line, and then goes 20 with an 8 on an 18 dial. Ugh. So Jeff Serra, I'm not going to say he got away with one. That was a great run. He was 008, did what he had to do down there. Lucas Fisher nearly 4 digits perfect on the starting line, but nothing to show for it. Tyler Sizemore and Bobby Moat coming up right now. Moat right side from Georgia, dialed 472. And Tyler Sizemore, Boonville, Indiana, dialed 466 on the left side in that blue and white dragster. Tyler Sizemore bringing the heat on the starting line and getting himself of a win light. 465.7 on that 466 dial it. He's 003 at the hit. Moat goes 71.3 on a 472 dial. Both of them are quick. Tyler Sizemore taking 12 down there, 32 inches ahead of Moat, and 1 win light ahead of Bobby Moat. Tyler Sizemore going to be racing in round 4 tomorrow. Mike Carpenter now right side, 477. Jeff Ura dialed 496 out of Ohio. So Jeff Hura fully staged. Now Mike Carpenter going to meet up with him. Here we go. Carpenter has a little bit of real estate to work with, but it's going to be Jeff Hura taking care of business. Hura goes 496.4 on the 96 dial-in to keep himself on the positive side, and Carpenter broke out, taking 18 at the finish line, about 4 feet, at 144 miles an hour, runs 476.5 on a 477 dial-in. Brent Martin and Vince Schroeder coming up. Schroeder, Paxton in Pennsylvania, dialed 449. Brent Martin dialed 481 on the left side of the racetrack from Maryland. So Brent Martin now and Vince Schroeder getting ready to handle their business. Who's going around number 4? And how are they going to get there? They're going to get there by a red light. Brent Martin's going to benefit. Vince Schroeder's going to manage his team. 003 red, 448.6 at 153 miles an hour for Schroeder after going 003 red. And Brent Martin, 4803. 004 light. Nicely driven run. Brent Martin goes on to the next one as Kenny Carson and Jake Woodring come up. Seen Jake Woodring make some nice runs today. He's going to need a nice one against Kenny Carson, who's dialed at 472. Next to him, Jake Woodring dialed 458. Carson and Woodring. Locked in. Red light start for Carson. Carson goes 10 red. Woodring gets the win light. 4.586 at 151 miles an hour for Jake Woodring advancing, and Kenny Carson 472.4 after going 103 or 0103 red. Woodring was actually 0101 negative, but since Kenny Carson had the 210 thou worse red light, he is eliminated. Jamie Sirocco and Justin Daniels up next. Daniels from Roanoke, Indiana. Sirocco from Watertown, Connecticut. Daniels family running a Muncie Dragway in Muncie, Indiana. Sirocco carrying that 444. That's a fast hot rod over there, naturally aspirated. 529 dial in for Daniels. Red light start for Sirocco by 29.10 thou. 0029 red for Jamie Sirocco. Then runs 452.4 to 134 on a 444 dial. And Justin Daniels goes 529.4. Ran his dial with a 4 behind it. Had a 36 light. Mike Bodner and Spencer Massey. Spencer Massey, 472 dial in left side. Mike Bodner, right side, dialed 492. Massey's going to have his hands full as Bodner just dropped the 006 on his head, but Massey gets it back. 472.6 as Bodner breaks out. 472.6 on that 72 dial for Massey at a 37 light. What happened to Bodner? Took a bunch down there, nearly 10 feet. He was 45, or he took 45 at the stripe. He was 006, runs 491.0 on that 492 dial in. Bobby Inslee and Dustin Shore. Shore dialed 452 right side, Inslee 468 on the left side of the drag strip. Both cars pre-stage now. So Bobby Inslee and Dustin Shore just about deadlocked in the starting line. It's going to be Shore, 455.6 with an 11 light. Wins as Inslee breaks out. 467.2 and a 468 dial for Inslee. Took 39 down there. That was the end of him. So Dustin Shore advances on to round number 4. Now it's Kip Burkhardt and Bart Nelson. Nelson with a 478 dial in and Burkhardt 488. So Nelson, out of LaPorte, Texas, fully staged now. Man, Nelson and Burkhardt both really stout leaving, and it is going to be Kip Burkhardt, 487.55 and a 488 dial at a 002 reaction time. Bart Nelson was 008 on the tree, goes 477.2, but Burkhardt wins the round. Took 4 down to the top end, 9.6 inches worth. Burkhardt missed it by 45 thou. Nelson missed it by 73 thou. Razor tight margins. Jeff Taylor and Johnny Ezel coming up right now. Taylor out of Apache Junction, Arizona, dialed 467, and Ezel, of course, out of Louisiana, dialed 476. Couple of grizzled veterans doing what they do. You can see Ezel on and off the throttle. Double breakout again, but it's Ezel getting the job done. 475.2. 139 miles an hour. Ezel was 18 on the tree. Taylor was 15. He runs 465.9 on a 467, taken 6 at the stripe. 16.5 inches between round 3 loss and round 4 advancement. And Jeff Taylor is not advancing, but Johnny Ezel is. Two dragsters roaring off down to that 8-mile finish line now. It's going to be the win line for Will Holloman. Holloman 447.7 on a 447 dial, and he was 0002 on the reaction time. Travis Colangelo, who was on the left side of the racetrack, broke out 459.2. Took the stripe by 9 thou, about 2 feet worth. So Will Holloman, a brilliant run there. A 7-pack effectively for Holloman. Donnie Burleson right side, Donovan Williams left side. 477 dial for Williamson as Burleson is dialed 450. Donovan Williams, Donnie Burleson. Off they go. Red light start for Williams. Off he went, 3,000 too quick. Donovan Williams, 475.5. 003 red light. He is done for us. Donnie Burleson, on the other hand, was 14 green, 4,504, 18 pack on his 450 dial-in, so Burleson was in great shape. Kendall Little, Kendall Payne. How often do you see that? Two people named Kendall racing each other. Kendall from Harker Heights, Texas on the left side, and Kendall from Waynesboro, Virginia on the right side. 470 for Kendall, and 480 for Kendall. There's no screwing this one up. I mean, there is a slight difference in spelling, but since my English isn't so good, you can't hear it in my voice. Yeah. That wasn't quite as bad as the correction this morning. We had 425 entries. That was 424. Yeah, thanks, pal. Let me live with that one. And great race. How about that? 4:8:02 and a 009 reaction time for left lane Kendall Little out of Harker Heights, Texas. That's an 11th thou pack to move on around four. Kendall Payne went 69.2 on a 70 dial, took 14 thou, only 34 inches at the finish line. No shame in that game, but Kendall Little will move to round at number 4. Scott Sanders, Tim Thomas coming up now. Thomas a 481 dial on the right side, Sanders a 480 dial on the left. Reaction times within 1 hour. And there you go, 4:8:09 on a 480 dial with a 14 light for Scott Sanders, 23 pack. And Tim Thomas breaks out, as has been the case. We have seen more breakouts this round than in any other round of this entire race. 4:8:06 on a 481 dial for Tim Thomas. Took 12 at 31 inches on the right side. Bailey Ferraro and John Brannon. Brannon dialed 489 and Bailey Ferraro dialed 477. Just a handful of cars left to run off this evening. Should be a new national record of 2 nights of stopping this event during daylight when there is some semblance of light. Yeah, this credit goes back to the racers. Incredible group here. Bailey Ferraro, 15 red. John Brannon, green, goes 489.1 on a 489 dial with a 16 light. We just keep stacking up these teen packages. That was a 17 that Brannon just strapped together. Bailey Ferraro goes 5:02.8 at 108, coasting at the finish line. Carol McCarty and Terrell Sinkler coming up, 528 dial for Sinkler. McCarty dialed 462. .528 left side, McCarty right side. Carol McCarty is going to try to climb out of a 5 thou hold. She did it. 462.8 on a 462 dial. She was 20 on the tree in Sinkler's car. I believe he probably lifted and scrubbed some speed off there. He goes 531 on a 528 dial. Sinkler was 15. McCarty was 20. McCarty took 200 at the finish line, about 4 feet, and stole that one back. Paige Coughlin and Nick Eisenhower now. More than a couple of Jegs cars left in the Jegs 20K here as we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. Page with a 4:57 on the board. Eisenhower with a 4:89. Gets to the finish line, 4:57.7 and loses. She goes 4:57.7 with a 30 light and doesn't see a win light because Nick Eisenhower was 19 and went 4:89.9, taking 9th thou at the stripe, 24.3 inches. Nick Eisenhower advances. As we were getting down to the end of the evening here, and I joked about us being finished in daylight, thank you for last night. We didn't have problems with fireworks. We need to keep that going. No fireworks in the facility tonight. No fireworks on the grounds of the racetrack. We talk about being good neighbors to the place, and that doesn't just mean getting our racing done in time. It means not blasting the sky with fireworks that we shouldn't be firing off in the first place. So please, no fireworks again. We appreciate you last night not doing that. Just please keep the streak alive. Jordan Parker and Lenny Busher coming up. Busher dialed 476. Jordan Parker dialed 439. Just a couple of pair to go. And again, sincere thank you for no fireworks last night. Let's just keep that up tonight. Right down to the finish line, you saw Parker working the throttle, little puffs of smoke out of the engine. 4:401 on a 439 dial, 005 reaction time for Parker as Lenny Busher goes 477.4 with an 11 light and doesn't advance. Parker took 9th thou at the finish line, 23.1 inches. Samantha Coughlin and Christine Kurbitz. Kurbitz 483 dial on the right side, Coughlin 458 dial on the left. Red light start for Kurbitz, 18 red, and Samantha Coughlin 009 green, and then goes 57.4 on her 58 dial at 151. Kurbitz 482.5 and a 483 dial, and that is going to leave us one car. This is the DragRaceSolutions.com buy run. Got a racer with a small block Chevy looking for a high volume oil pump for a small block Chevrolet. Gary Fury is looking for it. High volume oil pump for a small block Chevy. And Gary, where you pitted at?
Second row over Purple Camaro.
Purple Camaro, basically behind tower side of the racetrack. Down back behind the tower, you'll see the Purple Camaro. High volume oil pump, small block Chevy. Gary Fury needs it. Somebody's got one on the grounds. So Justin Clark, our DragRaceSolutions.com buy run in this round of 3 of the Jegs 20K. Red light start for Clark. Don't matter none, though. 489.3 at 141 miles an hour. And that will end our racing program for the day. Again, thank you to everybody for last night not shooting fireworks off. And we want to please have that be something that continues. Please no fireworks tonight. We want everybody to have themselves a great evening. You have some time to relax and meet your friends and hang out. And those of you watching Motor Mania TV right now, you're in the tower with me, Brian Loans. Thank you so much for watching today. Tomorrow is one of the biggest days of this event. It's when we start the big $1.1 million guaranteed race. You've heard us having raffles the last couple days, filling up those last couple of spots. It is going to be incredible. Tomorrow's program is going to be round 1 and re-entry into the $1.1 million race, and then we're going to finish this $20,000 race. You do not want to miss 1 minute of this action because it is history in drag racing. You're going to start to see the most high-paying single race in the history of the sport begin to form up tomorrow. And on Saturday, it will build to a crescendo because we'll finish that race on Saturday. So thank you, Motor Mania TV audience, for watching. Thank you, Mark and Joanne Walter, for providing great service and a great broadcast to our viewers. And thanks to all of you here on the grounds for being incredibly talented racers. We can't run a program with 700 entries if everybody doesn't have their act together, and you all do. The fact that we can run as many cars as we do per hour speaks to your professionalism and your skill level, and I can't wait to see it all shine tomorrow as we get into the $1.1 million race. 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, you have the Hanson Global Breakfast of Champions catered by Cracker Barrel. Make sure you take advantage of that and the tent behind the grandstands. Please don't blast any fireworks off tonight. And on behalf of Hank Mulligan and Bob Unkefer, I'm Brian Loans, and now it's time for me to have beer.
Jegs. Jegs.
What it is, it gives racers that's totally out of the race after the third round another chance at $1.1 million or $500,000. And the way it will work, after the third round is over, anybody that's completely out of the race, you can pay $250 bucks to get into a raffle, and it'll be kept separate. Door car and dragster will be separate, and we'll pull 50 names total, 25 door car names, 25 dragster names. 8 of those guys will go back into the race on each side. The other 34 racers will win $1,000 cash. So you go from being totally out of the race to maybe able to win $1,000 or $1.1 million or $500,000. The way it will work, we'll put the 25 names in the, with poker chips, and we'll pull them out. The first 8 out will go back into the race. First 8 out on the dragster side will go back into the race. The other 16 racers on each side will win $1,000. So, and the way it will go, they will go directly into fourth round racing each other. The door cars and the 8 dragsters, they'll be racing each other. So the winner of that will be in the split round with $1.2 million to split up. If you lose in that race, don't go to the cooler yet. Just hang around till the following day, because we got a 2-day format now.
For high performance? When you want high performance, there's only one place to go. Jegs.com. Jegs.com has the largest selection of high performance automotive parts on the web. When you need high performance, Jegs.com has the part you want when you want it. Want performance? You've got it. Jegs.
Search no more for loose sockets. Hanson Global, the innovator of the #1 requested socket organizer since 1995, is here to help. Socket sizes clearly marked on posts for instant identification to save you time and money. These 100% made in the USA organizers are perfect for both professionals and DIY mechanics. Contact Hanson Global by calling toll-free at 1-877-793-5213. For your local distributor, or order online at hansonglobalinc.com, where you can use code RACEFAN2020 to save 20% at checkout. Hanson Global is also the presenting sponsor of the Hanson Global Breakfast of Champions, prepared by Cracker Barrel, at several signature SFG events in the 2020 season.
TV, the premier bracket racing channel on YouTube.
Hello! We did it! We went through round 1 and the re-entry round of the Hanson 100K. Now we will resume that race on Sunday. I know this is confusing, but it's okay, okay? What we're trying to do is to reduce the time. You know, last year we were in production until 4 a.m. And then we had to get up at 6:30 and get cameras out for the next day. Well, you know, people can't do that for 7 days. So Kyle came up with this idea of splitting the races. And I know it's confusing, a little bit confusing, but if you look at the schedule, it works out well. Yes, and we have also concluded the Jegs 20K. And we started that on Monday. I think they had much more participation. I can't speak right now. A lot more people got into the race than what they thought they were going to have on a Monday, you know, with no time run and all that. Anyway, but they're making it work. And, you know, to be fair, you know, it is working. Okay, that's about it. Tomorrow we will be live at, do you know? I'll let you look for that. Okay, tomorrow we begin the Friday All-Star 1.1 million, the main event that we have all been waiting for. What time? 9 o'clock. We'll be live at 9 a.m.-ish. Normally we're pretty punctual, but we always say ish. Anyway, yeah, and we're going to do round 1 and the re-entry. Now what is it? The top sportsmen and the top dragsters are going to be involved at some point on Friday or Saturday, from what I'm to understand. I don't have all the details. They're having a meeting about that, probably as we speak, right? Oh, in the morning. Oh, 9 a.m. in the morning. They're having a meeting. So we'll find out more information on that then. All right. I guess we'll see y'all tomorrow at 9. Say your goodbyes to folks. We have a few more bills to pay here. So see you tomorrow at 9. Love ya. Bye.
Jegs.